guys, checking the audio. Looks like it's working. Isolation. Okay, cool. All right, I know we are online and ready to go. I'm just doing final checks on my. There is no a lot of noise. Cool, awesome. All right, so welcome South Florida to another meetup. I hope this is the last one that we do virtually. For those who are in the meetup and also not only on the meetup account but also on the Cloud Native chapters. If by any chance your company or you know about a place and wanted to start doing these meetups on site, I would love to do it. Currently, I'm not in South Florida. That's why I'm doing it online because I was hoping to do it this one. But I'm right now in Medellin, Colombia. But next month, I would love to do it on site, share some pizza, some sodas, and talk about Kubernetes and Cloud Native. So if you know about a place or something, just let me know. We'd love to get together and see how we can make it happen. Could be anywhere, West Palm, Boca, Florida, any area works. The idea is to start doing this on site. So before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping. I know we have some people connected online, some here in the chapter, maybe. So we recorded this. So if for those that might not be able to attend, can check it out later. So if any of you are feeling uncomfortable with being in audio, video, something like that, feel free to stay off. It's okay. We just need to record it. So for those folks that cannot make it, can watch it later. I know that we are also streaming to a couple places like YouTube on LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Today I'm by myself, so I'm gonna be looking at multiple screens to make sure that I at least check in and if there's any questions or if I can do anything here for you guys. And also, of course, if we're looking for speakers. So if you are love to share what you know about Kubernetes and you want to get into it, please let me know. With that being said, let's start it. Today's meetup is about the next step after the one that we were talking before about how Cloud Native can help you, achieve fast time to market, how your company can benefit out of that. So the next logical step is like, okay, how can I start? I'm putting myself in the shoes of someone that might not be as knowledgeable about Kubernetes, or has been trying to do something in Kubernetes, but it's getting a little hard for them. So this meter is more for that, like to get everyone in the same place. So that's why we named this chapter more like let's build a cluster, but let's do it free instead. And I'll explain that what that means a little bit, just to double check, because before I get into a topic, please join the community on cncf.io. I know that some of you are on meetup.com and some of you are new on this meetup. So before we were having this meetup on meetup.com, that's where the CNCF officially was hosting it. But we had to change it to the CNCF official groups, which is now on Baby, and this is the URL. So join there so we can start. You can continue getting more of the notifications for videos or anything else that we might do in the community. I'm keeping the meetup.com for a little longer to make sure that everyone's in the same page, but at some point we might have to take the meetup.com down because it's not supported officially by the CNCF. is this one instead. So just a housekeeping item that I needed to do. And quickly about me, I know that the most important is about the demo and what we're going to be doing with the cluster, but just to give you some background, I'm an entrepreneur and technology leader as well. I've been involved in the CNCF since basically starting. I'm a certified administrator. I've been helping, of course, the team that created the exam for this administrator exam. I've also been helping Linux in another exams that they develop. And I'm a CNCF ambassador recently joined on the spring of 2023. And I actually had the beautiful experience to be on the KubeCon Europe. It was amazing. So if you guys are interested in knowing more about that, just hit me up. I would love to share my experience there. It was amazing. So just wanted to share that with you. And with that being said, this is the quick agenda that I prepare. It's mainly demo based, so I don't have a lot of slides. It's just to let you know what type of cluster we're going to be building, what they're for, what they can be used, and just to give you that idea. All right. So, well, that was quick, and I'm going to start with the demo, like I said. So what we're going to be doing is I prepare 3 clusters that we want to work, right? And the idea here is, if I'm new to Kubernetes or if I want to start doing something, where's the best place to start, right? I know that some of you are trying to, let's say, build a cluster using EKS, GKE, all these managed services. But at the end, what really the issue is, how can I start without that much friction? Can I test it out? Can I do something real quick locally without having to spend money maybe? So, and the answer is yes, you can do it. We have plenty of options. So we're going to be looking at 3 of them, but you're probably going to find a lot more if you keep looking for what you really need, right? So the first one is Kind. I'm going to first move this here so we can look into what Kind is. So Kind actually is a project that is started by like a separate project first. Someone developed it, and then quickly got into basically the mainstream of the Kubernetes development. And what I mean by that is that now it has a SIG. A SIG is basically a special interest groups on the CNCF that are focusing on helping with toolings, specifications, and anything around Kubernetes, but they're more like official groups on the CNCF and Kubernetes. So that basically quickly moved to that area, and people are using it basically for almost everything. What I can tell you is that Kind actually is being used for a lot of the products that for Kubernetes for testing. So let's say that you're developing an operator, and to test that, you need a cluster. So instead of having to pay for a cluster online or something like that, you will use something like Kind. And the nice thing about Kind is it's also declarative, so you can build kinds and it gets a little crazy if you want it to be. But the main thing that I've seen it being used is for local tests, of course, but also for testing all the tools built for Kubernetes. So that's the first cluster that we're gonna build. Of course, the idea is to walk you through the documentation, what it does, but mainly is for you to see how easy it can be. Of course, once you install the tool, and you can use it, you can install it using, if you're on Mac with Brew, if you're on Linux, they also have a binary that you can download. But once you do that, in my case, if you see, and I find for Kind, I already have it installed. I try to do that beforehand to make sure that there's I don't spend time on downloading binaries, but Kind is there. So we have the binary Kind, and it does give me a lot of the options. So the quickest one is I want to just create a cluster. So you can do it very quickly with just saying Kind, create cluster, and you can give it a name if you want, but if you don't even give it a name, it just build it for you. So that quickly is, and this is what I like from Kind, that you don't have to really know too much about it. You don't have to send 20 different flags or options to build it. You just need a cluster, you create it, use it, and also as simple as to create a cluster, it's also very simple to remove it. Of course, it's now downloaded the latest version of the image. So in the meantime, just explain a little bit what kind does. The word kind basically is basically Kubernetes in Docker. That's what the acronym comes from. So they use containers to, in this case, it uses the Docker tooling, but also support Podman if you are into Podman. Both work perfect. But initially, they were created when Docker were mainly the daemon set for managing containers. So in this case, they use that. They just have this built-in Kubernetes mainstream in these Docker images, in these containers, and you basically running Docker and Kubernetes in Docker. Why this is really what's the main purpose and why it's so good? Because it's very light, so basically you can run this anywhere, and also it's very simple to use for testing, because when you're doing testing, of course, you need to create clusters, remove them. You need to create clusters with multiple flags and options that you might want to add and remove. Let's say that you're doing an operator or something, or controller that use any of the admission controllers in Kubernetes. You might need to switch up and change some flags to test different options. So having this type of cluster you can just create very quickly, it does make the difference. Like I said, right now it's because it's downloading a brand new image. That's the only thing that I didn't test before the meetup, but basically you can install that. So let's just give it a second. Meanwhile, let's just take a look at how easily is it. Just create a cluster. You can do the cluster. You can also build your own image from source. So let's say that you go to the repository, you build that node image, and then you can just create your cluster using your own image. So actually makes it very nice for you to use. So the things that I wanted to take a look while I was using here is some of the flags configuration. There you go. So if you see here, you can start with either the CLI, or you can also build your own, let's say, declarative file that you can use as a configuration. So in this case, for example, you can create a YAML file for the cluster and give them a specific version that you want to use. In this case, saying that all you need is the kind, which is cluster, and the version. So let's say that you want to use the latest or whatever, or maybe you want to test with a previous version. So you have that in consideration. So couple of options here. You can see you can use feature gates as well. So it does support a lot of these different flags. Very interesting here, which is the one that I want to show you. It does also have a way for you to, let me find the reference real quickly, just it's easier to find the reference. It was over here, somewhere here. These are more for this is more for the configurations. Oh, there you go. So this is the one that I wanted to show you. Not the extra mouse, there you go. This is the one that I wanted to show you. So this one is very simple. So here you can actually tell them how many nodes you want in your cluster and which roles. For example, let's say that you want one control plane, 2 workers, right? Or you want to have 2 control planes and one of them will have this patch apply. So in that case, I mean, for the control planes, you only need to apply it to one of them, and the other ones would take it off as well. But this is very, very convenient, because then you can have, they said they want to test your software with a cluster of one node, or let's say they want to test something that involves some sort of like tolerations or anti-affinities, and you need more than one node. So here you can say, hey, I know I need 3, 4 nodes, or I need multiple control planes because I want to test something with high availability as well. So this is where kind basically becomes very easy to configure, convenient, and you can do it very programmatically. So this is that's the specific configuration that I wanted to show you. Still downloading. That's going to take a while. Let me check on the dashboard if, how long it's gonna take. Usually, I should be able to see it here. So, oh, it's downloaded. There you go. In use. All right. So that means that it's supposed to be. Okay, there you go. So it's downloaded already. So now it's preparing the nodes, doing the whole configuration, and that's it. So now, basically, let's see if automatically did it or not. Config, get context. All right, so I got my kind and kind. Let me, that's the name that I gave it. So it's basically a cluster. So I can get the node. So I got it. So one node is control plane role, the only thing that I have. So of course, even though that is a nice thing, it doesn't mean that that's what we want. We want something more. So we can basically now say kind delete cluster, and we're gonna give it, you know, the name kind. So oh, I forgot that I had to give a name. Is a flag called name. Right. Okay. So we don't have now any other cluster, right? So if I look for list, sorry, get clusters. Okay. Delete cluster time. There. Now it's deleting the cluster. All right. All right. So now that we have no cluster, let's build a real cluster a little closer to what we will do, right? So now let's create a cluster. Let's give it a name, test one. This name is kind, test one. And let's see what other flags I have available, because I want to show you how can I also build with more nodes. So what if I want to give them, here is the config flag that I was expecting, right? So let's do that config flag, let's say kind.yaml. And then we're gonna come here, we're gonna copy this for now, just for purpose of being faster. So, and now we're gonna, all right, now we're going to add more. So we're gonna say, I want another role, I want a control plane more, and let's build it like if we need something more like a high available. And I know that in the configuration, there's a way for me to just say, I want this many, but I don't remember really. So worker, so it's gonna be a 3-3, and we're gonna name it, create name kind131, config kind.yaml. So now it should be doing, well, you can see the image, it was already downloaded, so it doesn't need to do it all over again. And now we're getting a cluster, allegedly, if everything goes well, with 3 control planes and 3 worker nodes. So let's just give it a second for them to start. And the nice thing is, like, I mean, for those that might encounter like how to build cluster with Kubernetes or KubeVM, however you name it, it requires a lot of effort, right? So you have to like do like a init first, and then you have to join other nodes. If you need to join another control planes, you have to do all the commands. So even though that is getting easier and easier and easier to deploy clusters with KubeVM, still you have to do some manual work. With this one, it's actually getting very easy to use, at least for local for testing. So it's joining the nodes, well, the control planes first. I like, even though that it uses these nice icons, so it just give you a very pleasant command prompt. Let's just give it a second while it's doing that. I want to go here, and I'm gonna come back to this one, because we can then deploy the ingress control in this way. Yeah, this is the one that I want to show you, this one, and then I want to show you how the load balancer actually works. let's do that one right after. All right, so we got now the client cluster. So let's say kubectl get node. We have now 3 control planes and 3 workers. I said that was very easy. So now you can just use your cluster, deploy pods, whatever you want. The thing that I wanted to show you about the ingress controller and why I wanted to go to that one pretty quickly, because usually when you're deploying clusters on the, let's say, GKE, AKS, whatever you're using, by default, out of the blue, you get ingress control. So you have this, you're having ingress control, sorry. You get already a cloud controller that allows you to communicate between the cluster and your cloud provider. So if you request a service of type load balancer to get traffic from the outside to the cluster, of course, you get that out of the box, so you don't have to think about it. But when you're using this type of tool like Kind and the other ones that we're gonna be discussing later, you have now the challenge of like, how can I expose now a service of type load balancer? How can I make that happen? Because now you don't have this cloud provider thing. So they do support these what they it's called like metal, whatever, like no cloud. So in this case, they support this the MLB approach, and then that means that you now can use this software MetaLB for becoming your provisioner of service type of load balancers. So that's what they do. So now this one, of course, you need to configure based on what your configuration is. So in this case, we're gonna fold this and see if it works. So let's see. Let's go first. We need to install MetaLB. So let's copy this. We're gonna apply it just like it is. I'm gonna trust it. I've done it before, so I'm not too worried about it. So that means that now I have MetaLB, and if we want to check this out, we have all the we had the custom resources. That's what we install. This is the MetaLB. That's going to install an namespace called MetaLB system, and we're going to be able to start and managing all these IPs from the Docker network, which I'm going to show you in a second. So let's. It's waiting for the MetaLB to be available before giving me the prompt back. So meantime, I'm gonna check the streaming. So it's posting. And, all right, cool. So why it is taking so long? Cancel this. kubectl get ns. So he created the pod, the ns metal system, and get pod. So it didn't install it, so something happened. Let me see. Where is this? All right. No, it did install it. Something happened here. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the cluster, what happened. No pods. Control LB. All right. Oh, the container is creating. Why it is in the state of creating? Still. All right, now it's running one of them. Running. Okay, so I think it's just time. All right, it looks like it's now good. Oh, it's just missing two of them. Let's just give it a second. One. I was just jumping ahead. That's why. I think that should be good. All right, so now that we have that running, we can check it out, the Docker network in this case. So let's check that out. So it's telling me that my network is, all right, the 172.18.00.16. So that's my network I found, I guess. There you go. So, oh, I got a lot of IPs available. And this one is the IP, the first one. So, all right, with that being said, now what we're going to do is just create a IP address pool. I'm not going to get too much in detail on this because I think that would deserve a whole new video. But for now, the MetaIP address pool is a way for MetaIP to start managing pools. So in this case, we're just going to give them a range within that CIDR. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the 19 for 18 because that's the only difference between my my map and the ones that an example. But pretty much it's just telling me about MetaIP. Within this range that you have, please pick any of those IP address. That's basically what it is. It's just allocating that. So when you create a service of type a service of type a load balancer, it's just gonna pick one of those IPs. So we can get into the details in another video, but for now, that's what it does. So now we just thought, all right, so do that. I'm not gonna change anything else. Then we should do the kubectl apply -f IP address. So I'm assuming that it's on the MetaIP system. Yeah, that's where it was created. And now we have the IP address. So if we say MetaIP system, get IP address pool, we got the pool already ready there. So now we should be able to, so this one is basically, let me just check it out. What is this? If it's not the same. Sure, let me open it here. I wanna open it just to see what it is. Text edit real quick. Oh yeah, so it's the same. So okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was not, forgetting something. So it's the same that I already have. And now we're just going to create a pod and expose it as a service. So I'm just going to copy example. Actually, they have this example available, so I'm just going to copy this. Then we just double check that there's nothing missing there. So it's just a service, HTTP service called Echo from HashiCorp. It creates a pod, and then it just add to the pod a load balancer so it can just get a service from outside. All right, so that's it. So let's just do this, apply it. We got the service. It's just telling me that I should pick the LB load balancer. So it's just pretty easy to just get the any service that we have. You see the external IP here. So if we want to access it from the outside, of course, we use here. What port is it? Oh, the port is 5678. So they just tell them that, hey, 5678 is that one. You didn't get it? Huh, interesting. For some reason, it's not getting it. Not sure if it's because of the no, the mail ID should be fine. Interesting. Should be able to get it. 5678. Or maybe should I just use this one? No, it should be the other one. This is not. This is more like a port for the internal node. 5678. Anyhow, it might be the service not running or what. Oh, let me just check it out there. So let me get the pod. Oh, that might be why. So that means that it was not able to get the okay. Restarting because of what? The kubelet didn't like it. What? Make a backup or standing file container output. Create volume message for. Okay, that makes no sense. Restarting fail. Let me check it out here. I'm gonna use my other tool to get it more inside. So we do this faster because I want to do the other 3 clusters as well. So let me just get here. You got this cluster and the workload pods. Why are you failing? It might be something with the tags. I know that we're using some specific text bar, text full, full service. It might be something related to that. It probably that's why. Is that the flags that is sending on the args are not, they're not picking that up. So what I would do there, I'm gonna do something different. So I'm gonna do what I know what to do. I'm gonna do create. I know this. I have it right here. Give me 1 second. I do have another service that I usually use, so I don't use the. There you go. This is the one that I typically use. Create deployment, nginx image is equals to nginx. That's it. Deployment created, and then we have the. And we have expose, deploy, nginx, and then we give the port that we want to use internally, which is 80, and then we tell them to use the target port, and then we can say 8,000, like that. Now we should have now another one. Port, continue creating. Let me just give it a second for the container to be running. It's downloading the image, that's why it's taking long. There you go, running now. And now let's see if we can get the service. The service. Oh, I know why. Because we need to tell them type or answer. Oh, typo. So let's delete the service, kubectl service. Oh, sorry. Delete service nginx. All right, and let's create it again. Now we should be able to get the service. All right, the 201. So finger crossed. Oh, forgot port 8000. We should have that. Oh, I did it in the wrong. No, it was the wrong way. My bad again. The target is the one inside Nginx, the port that we're gonna support the system. 8000. 201. Come on. Which port is running? Let's just see which port is running Nginx. Deployment is running on port what? We go to the pod. Pod. Oh, interesting. It's not letting me do a pull forward because I did not specify which port should be running, but by default should be the 80. That's what's supposed to be by default. So if I just do 8080, should do it. Should it? There you go. Let's see. Hmm. I'm gonna do one more test. What's the name of the bot? This one. I think the issue here is the example that I'm using, which is not nice. Let me get here. Why is not working that example? So technically speaking, we did everything that it was asked for. We give them the arguments and everything. It should be working, but it's not. And this one, it is working, but it's not. It's not serving. So if I go to services and I do a pull forward, it's giving me the Nginx. So this one is working. I just don't know why it's not doing the. All right, so let me just do one more test because at the end the idea is to show all the. For some reason, it's not getting into the cluster. So I'm assuming that it has to be related to the Docker that I need to do in a specific configuration or something like that. So that is part of the latest analysis that we might have to do. So I'm gonna put a pin on this one because at the end, the idea is just to understand about the getting a cluster, and we got the cluster. It's not about the English controller. So I'm gonna put a pin on this one, and let's wrap up. So with that, we have a cluster available. So let's now build the second one. So in interest of time, we're gonna go faster. So the next one is K3D, and here is the website. So we're gonna put this website here of the K3D, and then how this works, same way. It's a binary. You get the install script in multiple ways. and then you can create a cluster. How can we create a cluster in K3D? Very similar to Kind. So we got K3D, and then you can have clusters, all that. So let's go to cluster. Let's see what else we can do. So we can create a cluster, and let's see the help page. What else we can do? So if you look at it, it's a little more verbose. It does have a lot of more options, or at least in different way. Here, I want to make a note how K3D works in terms of like ingress. I'm gonna do it first because I've used it before a lot, and I'm gonna make this smaller so you see there's an option called load balancer. It's over here. Where is it? I just missed it. Where's the load balancer option? Oh, right here. No, that's the configuration. It does have API port and also have the load balancing configuration that we're gonna be looking into. LB. We're gonna look into it right now. So it does have an LB configuration that we can use. So that's kind of like a different here, and you can also set your contain to your nodes. They call them agents. If you see here, you have the option agents. For example, we could say agents. We want 3 of them, right? And you can say servers. You want 3 of them. So we can do almost everything on the command line. But here, I want to go to the specific part that I wanted to show you. It says guides, and they have exposing services. That is the one that I want to show you. They have this API port where you can expose the Kubernetes, the Kubernetes control plane API to a specific port if you want it, instead of the regular one. And you have this -P flag, which is more for the load balancer. What that means is that anything that you expose as service type load balancer, it will do the trick and get it inside the cluster. So just wanted to mention that. So I'm gonna copy this flag. So this is the difference between the other two. So I'm gonna run this, and now it's pulling the images same way of Kind, pulling the images, making sure that it configures everything. In this case, it's using the 126.4 version of it. And once we have that, already have that built-in the access from the outside, at least in mapping terms. So it's starting the node. And we're gonna follow this example real quick so we have the ingress working. Just give it a second. While I was doing that, if you see here, they also have like support for Podman. So it's not only Docker. You have support for Podman. It does uses it uses by default Flannel as a CNI, but you can configure to use Calico. I do believe that you can configure multiple of the CNIs in different options, so it's not just one. But usually they come with one by default, so you can just have it up and running cluster real quick. So it's now running on the node servers. Just get a secret copy. All right, it's getting there. It's getting there. Server 2. And now it's going to start running the nodes. Interesting. They use these default tools, which I believe is the one that is doing the orchestration part. There you go. So we got a cluster. So if we do kubectl, let me make this bigger now. If I do kubectl get config get context, I should have two clusters. Now the Cake3D is by default the one. So let's say how many nodes we have. We got 6 in total, 3 that is running the control plane, CD and master, and other 3 that are more like agents. Now, a difference from the kind, which by kind works perfect. I think it's just me doing the wrong example, but in this case, that flag made it a lot easier for me to work. So now let's do the same Nginx example. So we're gonna run the Nginx. We're gonna basically create a service, so expose the Nginx. And now if we do kubectl get service, we should be able to just run an ingress. And I'm going to explain why is the difference here. So this is K3D gem. So in this case, if you look at it now, if I go to localhost 8081, it should work. They were supposed to was supposed to be exposed on the 80. Did I miss the? Oh, I missed it. No, that's not. Create a cluster IP TCP 8081. Yeah, it's doing the binding. Okay, it looks like for today the ingress controller don't want to work for me. I don't know why, but they don't want to work for me now. That's good. Okay, so probably it's because it's not running the service either. What's going on? Let's check it out real quick. I'm not gonna debug too much because, like I said, I'm not in the oh, there you go. Containers are pending. Why are you taking so much time? So the container is not running. That's why. That's a good reason why it's not working. Just give it a second so it downloads it. So once it's download, should work. Because the thing is the way that this works. If I'm not mistaken, I'm kind of assuming some stuff here because I'm familiar with the project. I use it, but I haven't checked it out the code or something like that. But what it's doing here is just doing a binding on the port in terms of the Docker network. So anything that is requested on the port 8081 is routed to the 80 inside the control planes. I think they're just using the same control plane IPs as yeah, well, it's here. There you go. So it's just doing that. It's doing the mapping. So I was guessing correctly, I guess. And this is a good point. So all the ports are exposed in that way. So basically, it's doing a binding of all the nodes on the cluster to that 8081 incoming and then routing into the 80. And that's why the ingress is doing it. Because at the end, I think it's doing traffic behind the scene. So if I'm not mistaken, oh, there you go, it does. So they're using traffic as a controller behind the scenes. And traffic is binding all the nodes. So anything that comes as an external call is handled by traffic. So there you go, it's running. Let's now double check if we got lucky. 8081, no. So No. So in the English control doesn't want to work with me today. So I'll take that. I'm not gonna argue with them. Like I said, this call is not about the English controller, so I'm not gonna be doing too much there, except for the fact that you now get sick. You have a cluster basically in less than 5 minutes that we spent on K3D. So what that means now is let's do a third one, right? Third cluster. Let's use. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, yeah. Now it does give me a 404. Thank you. It does work. Thank you. All right. So it just took a time. Now let's look at the third one and last, right? This one is interesting. This is the one that I haven't used at all. So this is basically my first time using it. The reason why I wanted to use this one as a third option and show you is that there's a lot of options out there. You can use whatever you want. I basically just research about options to install, and I found even this one coming from Canonical. So I wanted to test it out. So I already downloaded the binary. Once again, let's just do the install and see what it does. So like I said, I've never done it, so we'll see what happens. So if it doesn't work, I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because it kind of for me like a completely new thing. Oh wow, it's returning the image. Oh, it does gonna take a while. Am I going to skip it? So like I said, I never used it before. I'm assuming that what it's doing is just using like a small VMs somehow, some way. Um, I do know that they have these. It's called Passport or Multi Pass, something like that. What I do recall about this one, they use as well like multipass or something, and multipass is kind of like a VM manager, like something like VirtualBox. I think, but it's only for Ubuntu machines, Ubuntu-based machines, and it kind of like allow you to like manage lights, Ubuntu machines, virtual machines. So I believe it's using that behind the scenes. It seems to go pretty fast, so I don't mind to spend about 5 to 10 minutes here to see if it works. But in the meantime, going back real quick to K3D, so it is working. So I love it. So that being said, once again, I believe the issue with K3D is more about configuration, not like an issue itself. But anyways, like I said, I don't have time for it, but I just wanted to show that we got a cluster with access that you can deploy an application, test it out, like if it were in the actual cluster using a cloud service, and it works the same. I know that they use traffic, so let's check it out. Traffic. I want to show you that real quick. So let's see what traffic shows. I know traffic has a dashboard, right? Or this one comes without the dashboard. Would this one come with it? Oh, there you go. They have a web. Let's check it out. Oh, that's the actual web. This one? No. I don't know which one is the UI. I know that they have a web UI, but I haven't checked it out. So I'm not too much into traffic either. Let's see how this one goes. 47. Oh, nice. Oh, interesting. Look at this. It already comes with the Prometheus, I guess, install or no, set the metrics install. That's why I can get the metrics here right away. Nice. That's interesting. There you go. Come with some metric server. So let's check it out real quick. What else can we do with micro KS? So once it's done, we just check the status. Oh, we can enable a dashboard, DNS registry. Oh, this one works very similar to what Minikube does. It just allows you to have this nice enable command-like style add-ons. So that's nice. Okay, I like that from Minikube. I think it's something that definitely it's something that I like from it. I think one of the things that a Minikube, which that's why I kind of step away a little bit from it, is to deploy multi-node servers. I don't know if this one has the same issue. I don't know. I haven't used it. Create multi-node cluster. So the answer is right there. So it does have a way to add node. Okay. So you can just tell them, give me a new node, give me a new node, give me a new node. All right, that's interesting. All right, I had to test that out. I have to. Oh, interesting. So technically speaking, if I want to get high availability, all right. Interesting. I just do add new node. I have to try that. Oh, it's almost done. Nice. You see, that got me excited. I wanna test that out and see what's the difference. And look at the how many add-ons they provide. So they support a lot of add-ons. Nice. DHA cluster add-on. Okay, good. Let's test it out. Refine the image. Like they just download it. Starting the microKS VM. Okay. We're getting there. It's almost done. Nice. Open a little bit more. Yeah. So for you folks looking online, yeah, I didn't check the questions. Cool. All right. Just give me a second. I want to check it out the dashboard. Is this using also Docker? I don't think so, right? No, no Docker. At least I don't see anything here. No, it's just it's the actual VM. Interesting. Oh, it's taking longer to start to actually download the image, which is interesting. Let me just take a look at a couple of the Ingress Cube OVM. Oh, this is interesting choice that they do support Cube OVM. Metal IB, nice. Metric servers, basic storage. Okay. Now, another thing that interested me when I use this type of tools while it's starting is how much can I configure, right? I know that I don't know if this is production ready or not. Like I said, I don't know the tool. But even if I'm using something for testing, I would like to see how much can I configure. Because if I'm doing something specific, I might want to try that specific configuration. So it's nice to know that they do support configurations for the CNI. It does seems to be a lot of Calico, though. Flannel, CubeOBN. Can I do a custom one? It doesn't, I don't know. I will have to read more about it. It does seems to support Calico, it supports Flannel, KubeOVM, which is a very interesting option. I would guess someone would put here like Cilium. It's a pretty good option. Cilium, Weave. Oh, that's interesting. Come on, start. So I'm gonna give it another minute or two. So it doesn't start in minute two. I'm gonna wrap it up because I also want to make sure that I don't consume too much of the time. It's supposed to be an hour, and we already passed 6 minutes. All right. Supposed to go to close. Could this start out pretty work? Mm-hmm. Well, it's taking longer than expected. And that worries me because if it takes this long to to start the cluster, I mean, besides of like the image being downloaded for the first time, which for me is fine. Okay, of course you need to download an image or you need to download some artifacts for the first time, but it's taking way too long to just start. That is does worries me. So that for that reason, maybe I might not be my first choice. Just taking too long, or maybe it's because this is not meant to be for local testing. Maybe it's meant to be used in production or a type of environment. That could be another reason. But hey, we got 2 out of 3. That's a good average if you're into baseball. And now it's star. Wait, this is an interesting thing. It says that I need to launch multipass, which I do have. How am I going to open something that I don't have? So hold on 1 second. This is interesting. I want to go to applications. Multipass is here. Let me open it. And the reason why I have Multipass is because Multipass is actually a great tool, by the way, for testing cloud init applications. So if you're into like, let's say that you want to install something let's say that you want to install a bare metal or a virtual machine in any of your providers, right? And you want to do these cloud init scripts and you want to test that out before actually doing it in the real world. Multipass is actually great because you can just send that cloud init. It does have a cloud init testing validation tool. So it just gives you like a okay or not if your configuration will work. So that was an interesting thing that they do use multipass. So that's nice. But I'm looking at here the manager of multipass, which I don't know how I can really open it and move it here, honestly. But it does give me tells me that it's running, which is so weird that it says it's running, but at the same time it's telling me that it's not running. So I don't know really how what I can do here. Honestly, I'm kind of lost now with this one. I don't know how it works for sure. So I might have to skip it. So we'll come back to this one in another video or another meetup. For now, we got 2 clusters running. I'm going to use Lens here to show you Lens real quick. Got 2 clusters. We got the K3S, the Kind, and the K3D cluster. there's more options. If you want to just get your hands on Kubernetes and test it out, having a cluster online is not an excuse. Having a cluster local is not an excuse. You can just do it. It's pretty simple and allows you to test out a lot of options, as you can see already on the documentation that I showed you. With that being said, I'm gonna move on to my next item on the agenda real quick. It's basically a shameless plug for the KCD Colombia 2023 happening on June 5 and 6. If you wanna be on site, or if you're nearby Colombia, I'm sorry, if you're in Medellin or you plan to go to Medellin and go and attend the event, awesome. We'll wait for you there. We'd love to meet you. It's gonna be a great event. We're gonna basically have a huge agenda. Just to give you a quick glance of the agenda, which is I'm very proud of the lineup that we were able to put together. We got great people coming in and doing a talk for us. It's gonna be Chris Ench there, Aldra, and a lot of other great folks and amazing speakers in the industry. And the beautiful thing that we're doing is we're combining diversity, inclusion, technology, innovation, Kubernetes Cloud Native all in one place, and put them together to understand how that actually makes the community better and how grows the community with all these points together, working together instead of in separate silos. So I invite you to take a look at it. If by any reason you cannot come in person and meet these great people in person, you could just join us online, and we do have a 70% discount virtual that you can basically just join online and watch the whole event. So definitely you got two options, like always. You see, it's always options. But I do hope that you can be there in person with us and spend a great time with us as well. So that's my shameless plug for today. Other than that, I appreciate those that are watching, the ones that joined. I didn't see any questions, so hopefully it was clear enough. And if you do watch the video afterwards and you do the report and you have any questions, put it on the comments. I go back always and check it out. And if anything new, I'll of course I'll do an update. Like I said, I just want to recall again, we organize two meetups. One is South Florida, the other one is Colombia. And we also manage this community days, which is KCD Colombia. And we have this event coming up. So looking forward to see you all there. This is me just checking out. Bye-bye. Have a good one.